talking about as for our usual arrangements. If you are Arab American, Muslim American, or Palestinian, you feel like you don't matter. You feel invisible, said Waleed Shahid, a progressive strategist and former spokesman for the Justice Democrats, that, of course, would be AOC's brand of the party. We're going to get to more of this in just 1 second. First, I wanted to let you know, if you really enjoy the Ben Shapiro Show and the Daily Wire, we have a bunch of other shows over at dailywire.com. Let Michael Knowles tell you about his show.
Hey, Michael Knowles here. As you might expect, I am the host of the Michael Knowles Show. Conservative pessimists say the world can't get any worse. Conservative optimists say it certainly can. Luckily, there is hope and a whole lot of fun to be had at the left's expense. Come check out the Michael Knowles Show at the Daily Wire. You can listen to the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, or Facebook. It is all over the place. You can watch the full show ad-free on dailywire.com. And don't miss exclusive videos we make on my YouTube channel, such as my woke commercial review and the Chad's Plenty of Fun videos. We break down everything from drag queen story hour to the Paris climate freak. So come on over and check out the Michael Knowles Show wherever you get your podcast. Every Monday through Friday. See you there.
You know, I pretend that I really hate Michael, but really, it's not hatred. It's more just a strong and intense dislike. You heard it here first, gang. Make sure to check out the Michael Knowles Show. So, and the goal here, by many members of the media, is to prop up the pro-Hamas wing of the Democratic Party so as to create a groundswell of dissent inside the Democratic Party, causing Joe Biden to turn away from what has been, so far, pretty solid support for Israel. And that, of course, is effectively what the AOC wing is there to do. That's what the AOC wing of the party, the Cori Bush wing of the party, is there. Cori Bush, who's just a terrible human being, BLM congresswoman, she tweeted out yesterday, in the direct tweet from her, quote, "We can't be silent about Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign." Ethnic cleansing. Weird, because, again, you know, I always assumed that ethnic cleansing involved the ethnic cleansing of a population, not their multiplication from 1.2 million Arabs in 1948 to, 7 million in 2023. Terrible job, ethnic cleansing, Israel. Also, I assume that if you were to pursue an ethnic cleansing campaign, typically what you don't do is tell all the civilians to get the hell out of the way while you bomb military targets. Israel has overwhelming air superiority. If Israel wanted to cause, right now, hundreds of thousands of deaths in the Gaza Strip, it has the military capacity to do so. Israel is not doing that because they don't want to do that. Doesn't matter. Cori Bush, terrible human beings. Babies dead, pregnant women dead, elderly dead, generations of families dead, millions of people in Gaza with nowhere to go being slaughtered. Whoa, millions of people being slaughtered? Can you read them? Oh, God, she's such a liar. She's a terrible person and a liar. The U.S. must stop funding these atrocities against Palestinians, against moral equivocation. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. And then Cori Bush, she was hit with the fact that she doesn't give a crap about Jews who are murdered by Hamas. And so she lost. Put out a tweet saying, "This month, I co-sponsored a resolution condemning Hamas for hostage-taking and urging their immediate release. We must ensure the safe return of hostages and the protection of Palestinian and Israeli civilians." That is a lie. The resolution did not condemn Hamas at all. Did not call for the release of the hostages. She voted against the House resolution condemning Hamas. So she's just a liar. And what? By the way, this is a fundamental truth that I think has been under-noticed by a huge percentage of the Western population for a very long time. For hardcore radical left-wingers, for radical Islamists, for fundamentalists of many stripes, it turns out the truth is not even a secondary priority, it's not even a tertiary priority. Truth does not matter at all. The means are completely justified by the end. Lying is completely fine so long as you get what you want. Truth is no value, of no value to so many people on the hard left. Cori Bush is being one case in point. AOC is another. AOC. She tweeted yesterday. So AIPAC tweeted against Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, some of these are all people who voted against resolutions supporting Israel against Hamas. AOC then tweeted, AIPAC endorsed scores of January 6th insurrectionists. They are no friends to American democracy. That's insane. I'm sorry, that's insane. AIPAC is run almost entirely by former Democratic staffers. The top echelons of AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, is run by people who are left-wing politically. It's been a serious issue of contention between me personally and AIPAC, by the way. Because they are one of the most racist and bigoted PACs in Congress as well, disproportionately targeting members of color. No, they literally just target people who are anti-Israel. That is in the name, American Israel Public Affairs Committee. It's literally in the name of their organization. And if those members happen to be disproportionately people of color, well, why the hell does AIPAC have anything to do with that? And then she says about AIPAC, I I've yet to see her use this sort of extreme language with regard to honest God terrorists. Quote, they are an extremist organization that destabilizes U.S. democracy. Like Al-Qaeda. An extremist organization that destabilizes U.S. democracy. That is absurd. AOC, is it dishonesty or stupidity for both? Now, for a long time, I've let her get away with the stupidity part. She's dishonest and anti-semitic. She's terrible. Because at a certain point, I can't give you the benefit of the doubt that you're just a moron anymore. Well, if you are a moron, I'm not going to let you use it as cover for the fact that clearly you are on the side of Hamas. Clearly and obviously. And anybody who's going to pretend this away because AOC dances on Instagram is truly an idiot, a fellow traveler idiot. In the media, we're also playing a protest against Anthony Blinken yesterday. Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, was testifying before Congress, and here's what he had to say about what he had seen Hamas do.
A family of four, a young boy and girl, 6 and 8 years old, and their parents, around the breakfast table. The father's eye gouged out in front of his kids. The mother's breast cut off. The girl's foot amputated. The boy's fingers cut off before they were executed. And then their executioner sat down and had a meal. That's what this society is dealing with. And no nation can tolerate that. And as we've said repeatedly, as President Biden has repeatedly made clear, Israel has not only the right but the obligation to defend itself and to try to take every possible step to make sure this doesn't happen again.
So, he's testifying about that, and he's completely correct. What did the media focus on? They didn't focus on what Blinken actually had to say. What they focused on is protesters disrupting Blinken. Now, again, these protesters are garbage human beings and morons. What they are doing
approaching a railroad crossing.
The room, holding up their hands, stained red with ink, to suggest that Tony Blinken has blood on his hands. Now, they wouldn't do this with regard to Hamas. And I just will point out here an odd and disturbing parallel. There are all these people holding up their red hands to show that America has blood on its hands, or whatever the hell that is. But here's a little bit of the video.
Collins, distinguished members of the Appropriations Committee, thank you for this opportunity to testify before you today.
There is a bombing of densely populated areas. Stop reporting the genocide as ethnic cleansing of the people of Gaza. Cease fire now! Save the children of Gaza! Save the children of Gaza!
Not in the face of intensifying strategic competition in the Indo-Pacific and around the world.
Permanently unemployable idiots at best. Evil, genocidal, anti-Semitic at worst. There is an odd echo, odd historical echo here.
Oh, I don't see
People holding up their red hands to the camera. Last time I saw hands that red, when there were, actual members of the Palestinian Authority holding up their red hands after having butchered an Israeli soldier who mistakenly drove into Ramallah. I mean, it's hard not to see that particular picture. That picture was pretty famous back in the day. By the way, this administration is now talking about giving the Palestinian Authority control over the Gaza Strip, which is the Palestinian Authority is literally paying the families of the terrorists who murdered people in the Gaza envelope. So that would just be kind of changing one course for the same course of a slightly different color. Already coming up more from the Ben Shapiro Show. Best out this week. This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks Vapocool drops.
Yeah, Vicks Vapocool drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks Vapocool drops.
Steve, I'm a small business owner, and my CPA tells me I don't qualify for the $26,000 per qualifying employee ERC because my gross revenue didn't go down enough. Is that true?
The law provides that you can qualify for ERC if you satisfy either of two tests.
The easy test, it's just math that your CPA told you about, or a different but complex facts and circumstances test that some CPAs either don't know how to apply or just don't take the extra time and effort to determine your eligibility.
You're a tax attorney. How can you speak about CPAs?
I was a practicing CPA before I was a tax attorney, and our law firm includes both CPAs and tax attorneys.
Now, is there a deadline to apply before the ERC is no longer available?
Yes, that's why you should call our firm today to review all aspects of the ERC with you to get your qualifying check. Call 888-TAX-DEAL. That's 888-TAXDEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL. Or MoskowitzLLP.com, MoskowItzLLP.com.
Hey Jen, sorry I'm late. I had to stop for gas. Yeah, I can't believe how much it costs for gas now. I know, everyone's still talking about how much gas is, but I never pay full price. I just use the free Upside app, and I get cash back for every gallon of gas I buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid real cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yeah, I earn back up to 25 cents a gallon every time I buy gas.
What? That sounds like it could really add up.
It sure does. I've made over $300 already.
Wow, that's serious extra money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CAR30 for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account through PayPal or an e-gift card. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CAR30 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus in your first tank. That's code CAR30 for 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up.
Hey there, Jack and Joe Armstrong and Getty. Join us at 10 right here on KMJ.
Welcome back to the Ben Shapiro Show. Here's some of the best of the stuff that we're talking about this week. So the open question here is whether the Biden administration will be able to stand up to its own left and to the media. We're seeing some mixed signals at best. Tony Blinken so far has been pretty good, but you're starting to see the White House press secretary, who again is not a pro-Israel activist in any way, shape, or form. Karine Jean-Pierre is from the Cory Bush wing of the Democratic Party. Here she was. She was asked if anti-Israel protesters are extremists. You know, people chanting from the river to the sea, like the extermination of Israel. And she's like, I don't know. It is amazing how quiet she goes when it comes to left-wing anti-Semitic protesters. When it comes to morons in khaki pants marching in Charlottesville, that is the spur for an entire presidential campaign. But when it comes to hundreds of thousands of students around the world marching in coordination with Hamas slogans, then she's like, I don't know if they're extreme. Can we say that? So I don't know. Here she was having a tough time.
Does President Biden think the anti-Israel protesters in this country are extremists?
What I can say is what we've been very clear about this. When it comes to anti-Semitism, there is no space. We have to make sure that we speak against it very loud and be very clear about that. Remember, what the president decided to, when the president decided to run for president, is what he saw in Charlottesville in 2017, when he saw neo-Nazis marching down the streets of Charlottesville with vile anti-Semitic just hatred. And he was very clear then, and he's very clear now. And he's taken actions against this over the past 2 years, and he's continued to be clear. There is no place for this type of vile and this kind of rhetoric.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you brought up Charlottesville. I mean, how about campus radicals pulling down posters are extremists? How about people who are chanting from the river to sea are extremists? No? Well, she did have some words about Islamophobia. Now, I swear, the White House's attempts to equate what's going on with anti-Semitism in this country with Islamophobia are completely
approaching a railroad crossing.
Separate phenomena. The attempt to link them into once again create moral equivalence to sexual violence rhetoric. The idea being that if you're pro-Israel, you must be Islamophobic. Well, whereas if you are pro-Palestinian, well, you're not anti-Semitic even if you're chanting things like from the river to the sea. Here she was talking about the rise of supposed Islamophobia.
What is your message to this group of Americans, and what efforts have you made at outreach to this group specifically?
So a couple of things. Look, what I can say is this. The president knows that Muslims and those perceived to be Muslim have endured a disproportionate number, certainly of hate-fueled attacks, right, as we talk about what we're seeing here. And so he also understands that many of our Muslim, Arab American, and Palestinian American loved ones and neighbors are worried about the hate being directed at their communities. And so leaders at every level of this administration will continue. We're going to continue engaging with the Muslim community, the Arab American community, and Palestinian American leaders to hear their concerns, right? And also to hear their feedback on how best, certainly to combat the discrimination, the hate and discrimination that they're seeing as well.
Again, the Norm Macdonald tweet just coming to life right here. By the way, I feel like I should just show you what the actual anti-Semitism versus Islamophobic stats look like in terms of reported hate crimes and such. According to the Anti-Defamation League, not a place that I'm a huge fan of, but they're the best source for measuring this sort of stuff at the time. The ADL has recorded more than 1,200 anti-Semitic incidents in the United States through May 2023, and they have seen a 388% uptick in incidents after Hamas's attack on Israel. I just want to show you the scale here. This is how you can fool people with stats. This is what CNN is doing. So, in 2013, there were just under 1,000 hate incidents reported against Jews in the United States. In 2022, there were almost 4,000, and in 2023, it's going to surpass that. In 2023, it's going to be higher than that. So you're talking about like a minimum of 3,000-4,000 hate crimes against Jews. Now, we move over to Islam-linked hate crimes. Islam-linked hate crimes. This is how you lie with stats, is by looking at the scale. Okay, in 2000, almost zero. In 2001, when this is supposedly massive Islamophobia outbreak, we're all going, oh my God, it's just like 500. Okay, at no point does it even approach remotely what Jews go through in this country in terms of anti-Semitic hate incidents, largely from radical Muslims, by the way. And then that number stays well under 200 all the way up till 2014. It jumps to maybe 300 in 2016. It's still under 200. And so we're supposed to believe that, according to the ADL, the Jews who are experiencing literally 20 times the number of hate crimes that Muslims are experiencing in the United States. I should point out here that there are about 3.45 million Muslims living in the United States. There are about 6 million Jews living in the United States, somewhere thereabouts. So again, these are very small numbers in terms of the general American population. On a per capita basis, Jews are way more likely to be targeted. But of course, whenever there is something that targets Israel and Jews, we have to mention Islamophobia, because the idea is that they're morally equivalent, and it's just a cycle of violence, and the Jews are the ones who are doing the whatever the stupidity here is. Meanwhile, John Kirby, the national security spokesperson, he was asked whether they were classifying people as domestic terrorists for making violent anti-Semitic threats, given the fact that, this administration focused in on homeschooling moms who didn't like public school boards. Here was Kirby.
People in this country making violent anti-Semitic threats, are they domestic terrorists?
I don't know that we're classifying people as domestic terrorists for that. I mean, that's really a question better left to law enforcement. I'm not aware that there's been such a characterization of that.
Okay, so is that wavering? Kind of. Meanwhile, Alejandro Mayorkas is not firing, apparently, a pro-Hamas member of his staff. The Department of Homeland Security officer who had criticized Israel. This person is Nejwa Ali, a Palestinian DHS employee. She made several posts referring to Israel as an apartheid occupation and calling for Palestinian freedom at the expense of an Israeli downfall. And she tweeted hashtag Free Palestine. She's currently on administrative leave. Josh Hawley, senator from Missouri, sent a letter to Mayorkas calling for her termination. And Mayorkas suggested that he might not fire her. Here is Hawley versus Mayorkas.
Is this typical of people who work at DHS? This is an asylum and immigration officer who is posting these frankly pro-genocidal slogans and images on the day that Israelis are being slaughtered in their beds. What have you done about this?
One of the things I'd like to say to you. Number one, your question suggests that that is emblematic of the men and women of the Department of Homeland Security is despicable.
I'm sorry, but this person works for the Department of Homeland Security. Have you fired her?
Wow, like scale doesn't change.
Have you fired her? Have you fired her? Don't come to this hearing room when Israel has been invaded and Jewish students are barricaded in libraries in this country and cannot be escorted out because they are threatened for their lives. You have employees who are celebrating genocide, and you are saying it's despicable for me to ask the question? Has she been fired?
And the answer is, she was on administrative leave, but not fired. That is the answer right there. Alrighty, folks, we've reached the end of the show. We'll be back here tomorrow with much more. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
Live, local, and on it. This is KMJ Fresno, 580 AM, 105.9 FM, a Cumulus media station.
And
Israeli-Hezbollah incident. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. A missile strike in Lebanon reportedly killed